Hollywood figures frequently speak out for liberals and against conservatives, including the president. But the rest of America usually doesn't see things the same way. Our senior reporter, Galen Tethrow, has more on the gap between the Hollywood left and middle America.
In the 2000 elections, the Hollywood left actively campaigned for Democrats.
You know, we're national figures. All the people here are national figures, and our precinct is America, so this is our way of walking the precinct.
And more recently, actors like Sean Penn went to a...
That part.
There's television classics of the Rockford Files, the A-Teams, and, well, many, many others. He's done so many of these scripts that you can't count them all. He spent 35 years in Tinseltown, and he's still involved with projects with Fox and Disney, and he's also written a best-selling novel called The Vertical Coffin. Stephen, it's so good to have you with us.
So good to be with you.
Thank you. Listen, I understand you grew up severe dyslexic. How did somebody that's dyslexic turn out to be the most famous writer in Hollywood? How'd you do it?
Well, it's just what I always wanted to be, was a writer. And I think if you pursue your goals, if you have something you really love, you know, I always say to people who are asking me, how do I get where I want to go? I always say, do what you love, you know, and don't worry about money. Money can't be the goal. It has to be... The joy has to be in the doing, and for me, that's what it was.
Of all those projects that you've done, which one is anyone that you really enjoyed more than any other?
Well, there were a lot of them that, you know, I mean, it's like picking children, you know, you know, but certainly the Rockford Files was my first big hit. We all won Emmys. We were all close friends, still are. You know, we just had Jim's 70th birthday party, and everybody showed up.
It's dead.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Right. It's dead.
We're talking about Hollywood and the left. Are you into that crowd, or do you stand apart from some of this liberal leftist blowing up there?
Well, I'm on the other side of the line. I'm a conservative. I'm a Republican. I was raised by Republicans, and you know, and so for me, you know, it's the other side. I mean, I support the president, and you know, and I have a lot of friends, and I must tell you, I mean, many that were in there, Tom Sheen and Ted Danson, a lot of friends were perceived as very liberal, but you know, and they're very nice people, and who want to have some say in the national discourse.
Some of these protests, some of the things they say, you know, are not founded in reality.
Well, you know what happens, Pat, when you hang out with people who all share your opinions? What happens is you start to develop up fantasies into realities, and you know, if you can say that President Bush is a traitor and you're in your little cocktail party gathering and everybody's fine, then you find yourself saying it on national television, and all of a sudden you're shocked to realize that not everybody shares that opinion.
Well, you know, it's amazing though. Clinton was the darling of Hollywood. They just idolized that guy.
Yeah.
What was it?
I think he was charming. He was as much of an actor as most actors, you know, in a lot of ways. He had a tremendous ability to communicate, not unlike Ronald Reagan. You know, he had that same ability to reach out through the television screen and grab you, and I think that you know, endeared him to a lot of Hollywood people, and you know, and then he catered to them as well. You know, I mean, there was a saying that a lot of political activism was a trip to the White House. There was a lot of that going on during the Clinton era, and you know, and I think that was part of it too. And also, just one other thing is that in Hollywood, there's a big power elite, and power can be very seductive, and what of course is more powerful than that.
I mean, Kennedy certainly played to it, but apparently just you know, when the Kissinger said that political power is as strong as reputation, you know, ladies and gentlemen, so the president as well. Yeah, works up and down.
So,
What's your next project? Are you on television? I mean,
I'm trying to write my books, my novels. I've been writing some screenplays. You know, I'm really enjoying my life now. When I had 6 shows on the air, it was pretty hectic, and
you know, honestly, how do you do it? I write some things, but I mean, how do you turn out so many scripts? How do you do it?
Well, it's like I started by saying, I love it, and so. Well, okay, then let me put it another way. If you do it for 5 hours every day,
Oh, not do
for
that.
7 days a week, yeah, you'd be surprised how
Right
much
on tight.
at the end of your life.
Oh, you have to get up like 4 in the morning to make that happen.
I get up at 4:30. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I write the same thing. I have to get up at 4:30 because you're quiet then.
And nobody bothers. Your phone doesn't ring.
Yeah.
My New York friends don't call me. That's the only good.
Listen, is there a formula for writing? I mean, I see a lot of these shows that you get the writers and they just have a formula. I mean, after a while, you got the characters all delineated, so they write into the formula. But is there some formula for creating these things, writing these programs?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that there's a formula per se. I mean, there certainly is a 3-act structure that I adhere very critically to. But beyond that, I want every show to be different. Certainly, the A-Team was different from Baba Black Sheep, or Rockford was different from Wise Guy. So I always try and and have each show be its own thing, and not have a formula, because I think when you start to try and reproduce Friends and call it Couples, what happens? It fails. So.
Well, it's one thing about writing fiction. You become like God. You can make the characters do anything you want to. Well, not really.
My boy
You get a
seems
feeling
like
that way, though. You're in charge of their lives and what's happening, but I guess you are someone who, but it's fun doing it.
Oh, it's a great joy.
Yeah. Well, this book, vertical coffin. That is police slang for a doorway.
Yeah, this is about SWAT teams and two SWAT teams that are basically in a war with each other after work over a fumbled warrant. It's actually based on a real incident that took place in L.A.
Did they start shooting each other after?
No. Actually, what happened was that they served the warrant. A deputy died. The deputies got the warrant from the Treasury Department. They had not included all the information in the warrant, and it resulted in the death of this deputy. And so the anger that took place after that was so intense that I thought, well, it isn't too far, to build that up into a SWAT war that takes place between these two agencies. But it's really, it's a story also about a man who's looking inside himself and trying to see. My hero in this book wants to do the right thing, and yet he's finding his life in police work to be very conflicted. So,
if there was a young aspiring writer watching this show right now, what would you tell him? I mean, this kid likes to write. He's in college or something. You're actually going to be lecturing at Regent University. What do you tell him aspiring writer?
I tell all potential writers to write every day.
Really?
And what happens is that writing becomes not a priority in your life. It becomes the last thing you do. You go to the movies, you play golf, you play tennis, you do your studies, you do your work if you have a job. And then if there's time, you write. I suggest you reverse that priority and say, the first thing I do every morning is I get up early, I set my alarm. When everybody else is asleep, I spend 2 hours. In my case, it's 5. Writing every day. You'd be surprised how much better writer you're going to be at the end of the year if you write every day for 2 hours.
You find that it's so like a pump that the creative juices begin to flow and things come out that surprise you.
And very much so. And you find your characters talking to you. I don't let my characters run away with a play. I usually plot it up front, make sure I kind of end up where I want to end up. But I'm often very surprised at who the characters are when they start to talk.
Well, they do talk to you.
Oh yeah.
Why do you-
I'm just that crazy.
That's a true artist. That's more. Steve, it's so good to have you.